consists was about announcing where they live, of fear of possible harassment. I don't know why we're starting to ask what part of the city that they live from. Some people have concerns about possible harassment from announcing their address and things like that.
Okay, just mention what area you live in then, okay? That's all. We just would like to put some clarity to it, that's all. The gentleman in the safety jacket. He had his hand up first.
Oh. The first question is, why is it so difficult to answer a simple question? Why is it that we can't just be honest and say whether or not there's some sort of resistance? In April, you guys started talking about body cameras. 2 years ago, you had a pilot program that was ended 2 months after you came. Police Chief Tracy, you were very, very familiar with body cameras. You know a lot about body cameras. We can tell from your language. You can talk about what it is that is needed, the people that you need to have. Now you have numbers as well because the grant didn't get approved, unfortunately. I agree with what Bash Turner said when he came in about city council taking over and being able to pay for these cameras and them getting implemented right away. Chief Tracy, this isn't even a question for you because I know you already have all the answers. You know what it is that you guys need and what it is that it's going to take to get it done. And I think that it is going to get done now. I have faith in that. And I just want to say, we know that it will cost less to take care of a situation and to have it on video. Just like you said, somebody might be exonerated because of what it is that the cameras show. A lawsuit being avoided will pay for these cameras. Freddie Gray and Tamir Rice, Eric Garner, these families were paid $6 million. We're talking about $1 million or $2 million or far less than that, because we don't have to put body cameras on every single police officer that's on the street or that is in the department. But we could put them on everybody that's on the street at least. And we need them for public safety because there are certain people that just don't trust because of what it is that's happened in the past, because of the history. I'm someone that doesn't trust the police or the news articles first. I'm someone that's going to go to the community and find out what happened. So when I went to the community on 28th and Washington Street that was there on that night when Ricardo Hylton was shot in the head, when he was shot in the head.
Yeah,
when I went there, they told me that he put the gun on the ground. He put the gun on the ground before he was shot in the head.
Mr. Hall.
So that means that someone did something that they shouldn't have done. And that means that if there was a body camera, there could be justice and there could be the truth that we see. But since there wasn't body cameras, we don't know the truth. We just know what it is that the officers that are
Mr. Hall, that's
on
an
leave.
active investigation.
The officers are still on leave right
now.
The officers are still on leave right now.
Mr. Hall, could you please respect the situation? That's all we're asking. He can't speak.
Someone has to tell the truth. Someone has to tell the actual story because they weren't wearing cameras. So I'm going to use this time right now to tell the truth because the true story isn't out there. The community doesn't have their own paper, unfortunately. Only the news journals out there, and they're writing what it is that the police are telling them. The man was shot in the head, and the people out there say that he put the gun on the ground. I don't have anything else to say.
Well, obviously, everything is conflicting until a final report is issued. So please,
but it wouldn't be.
We ask your patience.
It wouldn't be if there were police cameras. In hindsight, of course, we can't go back in time and put them on those officers, those two officers that are on leave right now. But in the future, we can have officers that have body cameras on so that we don't have a situation like this again.
Mr.
Thank
Hall,
Thank you.
council
That's
is
it.
trying to
That's it.
emphasize that.
Thank you.
Good. Have a good day.
It's nighttime.
Well, have a nice evening then.
Shut the hell up.
Who? And then, yes, sir.
No, you have,
If you would, yes.
He keeps talking.
you gotta remain quiet right now, all right? You've had your say, okay?
I did.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Okay.
I'm not threatening you. This isn't a gun.
Excuse me, please, could you give some respect to the next speaker, please?
Okay, good evening,
Thank you.
council. Pardon me. Yeah, my name is Alan Lawrence, and I grew up on the east side of Wilmington, and I live in the 1st District now. And I'm glad to hear that the council and the police are now in favor of body cams. Because back in March, I think, with all due respect to Chief Tracy, I thought his approval was very tacit as far as wanting to see body cameras or approving them. Because one of his quotes, according to the News Journal in March of last year, was that we've got to balance out what are the needs and what are we looking to try to do with these cameras, and is there a need for it, and can we afford it? Well, I'm glad to think that we want those, and that the issue here is cost and how do they get paid for. Because in my personal opinion, if a body cam can save one life, it's worth the cost.
Amen.
Now, according to the Journal this morning, Mayor Purzycki says, and I quote, "I am in full support of implementing a body camera program for the Wilmington Police Department. Body cameras give people greater confidence that police officers are meeting professional standards." Now, because it seems as though cost is the issue here with cameras, Newcastle County Police started using cameras in 2015. And in 2016, according to the papers again, Newcastle County Police paid a little over, well, $406,000 in equipment and storage costs, and that was according to invoices that the News Journal obtained. And that number decreased to about $356,000 in 2017 and $252,000 in 2018. So it seems like every year since they implemented those, that cost for that storage and all has gone down. Now, my question is a couple of things. One, according to the Newcastle County Police's website, they have 400 officers. Now, I don't know how many of those have body cameras, but they have a larger police force than the Wilmington Police Force. Now, both Newcastle County and the Wilmington Police Force are located in Newcastle County. And since cost is the issue with the Wilmington Police Department, what I'm wondering is, why can't there be some cooperation between the Wilmington Police Department and Newcastle County Police Department to combine their purchasing power so that they can get the best bang for their buck in the fact of buying and storing body cameras? Because it seems like if both departments actually do some patrolling and collaboration in the city of Wilmington, that's something that they can collaborate on too. So I've worked in purchasing for years, and it seems as though that by combining their efforts, they could get the better bang for the buck, and it would be a win-win for both Newcastle County and Wilmington Police Department. And one question that I have, if in fact when we get body cameras and something arises through those, when will the public get access to that video? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I'd like to say that government needs to work at a glacial pace that I think is at times an understatement. So everyone gets frustrated by that. But council is focused on this. That's why we're going on over the calls with the police department. And that's why we have the chief and 2 inspectors here to speak before us about those things. So, hey, we'll try to move it as fast as you can. And I sure like the idea of a cost-sharing arrangement with the county, and we'll certainly consider that also. Thank you. Excuse me one moment, sir. Did you want to respond to any of his statement, or are you good, Chief?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Dion Wilson, city resident. Including Mr. Lawrence just said the costs going together would be very nice. But we all want body cameras. The cost of one lawsuit for one life, you said for like $300,000 a year maintenance after the initial year. One lawsuit is going to be way over $300,000. I don't care what the price is. One life, anybody's life, anybody's child, it gives clarity. A picture's worth 1,000 words, and body cameras are definitely needed. Earlier today, I was riding over on 8th and Monroe, and there was an officer behind me, and there was an officer in front of me. And when I got there, I looked down the street, down where Vash, you give the things, and like a young man was dead, hanging out of his car. And really, I can't lie, it deeply moved me. Because 50 years ago, I was one of those young men. And there's nothing you can do about it, man. There's nothing the police can do about it. And as the public, we shouldn't be looking to them for those answers. These are public issues. These are social issues. And they have to be solved in that manner. All you guys can do is investigate the crime. I'm not taking nothing from you, believe me. But the social issues that go, what's going on in this city, are deplorable. And I don't see why the federal government wouldn't give us body cameras with our reputation for violence. You know, there's a lot of things I don't understand. And I guess, you know, the older I get, it's hard for me to accept them. We need body cameras no matter what the cost. The mayor said he wants it. The council always votes for everything the mayor says. Let's get the body cameras on every officer, no matter what the cost. One mother, one brother, one child lost. There's one too many. We need closure. We can't put the price of money on a human life. I don't care what you say. I've been on both sides of that too. You know, I've been a shooter, I hate to say, but I've also been shot. So I know it's about both sides of both families. Feel it. Now, somewhere amongst all this chaos we're having here in the city of Wilmington, someone needs to give us a real program. We need a OIC, we need a training program where we can get these young men and women some money in their pockets, pay them to go to somewhere and get some kind of education. If we can build all these buildings, we get $7 million for Rodney Square. Donate it. We can't get donations to help these kids. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Before I go to you, ma'am, if I may, Mr. Johnson has got a prior commitment and has to leave. I want to know if you have any comment or any question before you run away, sir.
No, I just thank you for the public for sharing this sentiments, and thank you for Chief Tracy for answering the public's questions, and I look forward to further discussion. I think the cry's been out there for a long time, but I think we need to make sure if we do this that it's done the right way. We don't want a program that's implemented halfway, and we don't have the trust in the community with a program that actually works for the community. So thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Johnson. Come on, let's take 2 more questioners and go with that. Yes, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aisha Jones, and I just had a few comments regarding the body cameras. As I've heard you state, the shooting with Ricardo Hylton, that was my fiance. We have a 5-month-old son together. I understand it's an ongoing investigation and you can't comment. However, I just want you to know that for me, it's kind of hard for me to rely on what people are saying. And if these officers had body cameras on, the truth would be there. You know, as I've heard several people say, you know, it's worth saving one life. You know, none of us know what went on that night because we weren't there. But that video could have showed us something. It could have, and it's not just for that incident, but to protect the officers. It's to protect the public. And just as a suggestion, I don't know if this has been done, but from what I've heard, it seems like, you know, cost is an issue, and I understand that. But it seems like you're relying on one source or very few sources to get the money. I don't know if you've looked into foundations or nonprofits that can provide funds or even provide assistance on the administrative side until the funds are available to get the program up and running the way that it needs to. But I think this is something that's long overdue, considering where we are in this city with the crime and what's going on nationally. This is something that is long overdue. And I hate that this tragedy that has affected my family firsthand had to happen. And we don't have the answers that we need. And I don't know if we're going to get the answers that we need. But I don't want anyone else to have to go through this. You know, there's things happening every single day in this city. And I think that from what I've been hearing, people are questioning, you know, what was going on before this happened. But I have to question too, you know, where were the officers' state of mind? You know, what were they saying prior to arriving at the scene? And what was said afterwards? You know, I think all of that plays an important role in getting things done the way that they should be legally. And I hope that this is resolved quickly. And I hope moving forward that there are changes made within the city, the police department. And we can start to take a proactive approach to things rather than a reactive approach to situations. I think it would help a lot of families as well as the police department if it was more proactive than reactive. That's all.
Good point, well, yeah. Anyone else have any questions on the first topic? All right, with that, we'll move farther down to the agenda here.